Assalamu alaikum. Today, on our online classes of Top 100 Universities project funded by Youth Affairs Agency, we will talk about online application to Turkiye Scholarships scholarship program. First, when you enter the website of Turkiye Scholarships scholarship, you will have a number of sections that you need to fill out on your online application. First is your home page, where you will be able to find all information about the program and what kind of universities you can choose from this scholarship. Next, we have personal information. Here, you need to fill out all of the data about yourself, such as your name, your surname, your age, and birth date. Next, we have family information. Here, you need to mention your parents' names, their occupation, your family background, and household income as well. Next, we have contact information, where you need to write down your email, your current address, and your telephone number for the scholarships to send you all of the updates. Next, we have education information section. Here, you mention details about your school and all of the other schools that you have attended so far. You can mention your current honors and your academic performance here as well, because they will ask about your GPA and qualifications. Next, we have language detail section. Here, this one is really important because you have to know Turkish language on C1 level when you complete your first year of Turkiye Scholarships foundation course with Turkish language. And if you want to study in English or Turkish, you need to mention it here. If you don't know Turkish language, that's fine, because you can study in English as well. Next, you have 5 more sections to go. First is work experience. Here, you mention all of the work that you have done in a particular organization. It can be just a learning center or anything else that you have done. But it is not mandatory, and scholarship program does not ask you to have work experience. So it is an optional section. And next, we have academic qualifications. If you have any kind of test scores such as SAT, ACT, IELTS, or TOEFL, you can mention everything here. Why do we need to fill out this section? Because in order to be selected as a participant of this program, you have to be eligible academically and ready to learn everything in English. And your test scores prove that you are able to understand English language well enough. Next, we have social activities section. This section asks you about projects, about social activities, or anything that you have done in your school, outside your school, in your region, or maybe even at international level. It can be anything such as clubs, volunteering work, research work, or anything that you are interested in. It can also be sports, because they are also considered to be social activities. Next, we have Turkey experience. This section asks you about your previous travels to Turkey. And if you have visited Turkey, you should say yes. If you haven't visited, then just no. Next, we have the last section, which is my application section. As we have so many different students for bachelor's, for master's, and PhD courses, here we need to mention which particular degree we are applying for. And for students who are applying for bachelor's degree, they need to choose bachelor's degree scholarship program. And for students who are applying for a master's degree, they will choose their own program. The same goes for PhD and other students. Now, let's talk about required documents. What is important to have? First is our student diploma, or just a certificate that you have finished your school or you are studying at your school. For those who are applying in their senior years, which is 11th grade in our country, you need to find one statement that shows that you are studying in the school. It is preferable to have it in English language, or if you don't have it in English, you can translate it, and you should mention the original version as well. Next, we have exams and test results. Presenting your test scores is very important. And if you have any kind of national examination process, you have to mention it here. But if you don't have, you just need to leave this section and leave a blank there. Now we have another required document, which is academic record and your transcripts from school. Here you have to mention last 3 years of your school attendance and your performance in particular courses. If you're applying for a bachelor's degree and you are 11th year student, you have to fill out your 8th, 9th and 10th year grading systems and all of the courses that you have taken with grades in English. Another one of the most important documents to have is identification document, which is an official ID document issued by your government, by our government, Uzbekistan. And it can be your ID card, your passport, your driver's license, or your birth certificate if you don't have a passport so far. Next one is a photo, which is also a required document. You have to submit your headshot photo, which shows all of the facial features and was taken within 6 months. There are also a number of documents that are preferable to have for outstanding applicants. First is IELTS or TOEFL certificate showing your English proficiency level. Why is it important? If you want to study in English language for a particular major, you have to understand English really well and be ready to submit all of the test scores. Next we have Turkish language. It's important to know Turkish language because for those who don't know it, they have to study for a year, for an extra year, in order to gain all of the Turkish knowledge, and at the end of the year they will have to take a test to check their Turkish proficiency level. And if they have C1 level, then they can proceed to their bachelor's degree in English. But for those who have already taken the test and have C1, they will be able to start their bachelor's degree from the very start. Next we have extracurricular activities. It is very important to have outstanding extracurriculars because the scholarship program is so competitive. Only from Uzbekistan this year, there were around 6,000 applicants and only 150 were selected. That's why it's important to be an outstanding applicant. Next we have achievements. This section is optional and it's not mandatory, but when it comes to your achievements, if they are on global scale or national scale, it can also help you boost your application. Next we have some major knowledge. Why is it important? When you are asked about your major and when you write a personal statement, you have to be ready to have at least some kind of knowledge about your preferred area of study. Because on your interview, you will be asked questions regarding your major as well. Now we have the most important part of this application process, which is motivational letter. Here, you have to write down your field of study. And your essay should mention what kind of subjects and why did you choose them and why do you want to study them. Also, you have to mention specific examples which showcases the experience and how did you learn about this particular field. Moreover, you need to respond to a question, why specifically did you choose Turkey to study in this sphere and how Turkey is exceptional in your field of study. Moreover, you need to have a particular goal inside. What kind of goals do you want to achieve when you study in Turkey? And what kind of goals you want to achieve in your own personal life that aligns with your experience in Turkey? Here, it is important to be authentic. It is important to be unique, and your goal should be related to your major and your experience in Turkey. I hope today you learned a lot of things on how to fill out your application. And in our next series, we will talk about interview process and how to respond to all of the questions. Thank you so much. See you next lesson.